Good evening, everybody. I will be presenting an interesting case on Short's nature. This is about a small baby who continued to be a small child with ongoing poor growth. So we have Master H. He was 10 years old, resident of Bangalore, and our informant was his father. Presenting complaints were poor weight and height gain and poor appetite since early life. However, there was no history of recurrent or chronic illness, no history of polyuria, and no history of chronic drug intake. He was studying in 4th standard and his school performance is good. He's first of two children born to non-consanguineously married parents, and there is no family history of short stature. Antenatally, mother had oligohydramnios and intrauterine growth restriction was noted. However, there was no history of maternal hypertension or diabetes mellitus. Baby was delivered by emergency LSCS in view of fetal distress. He was born late preterm at 36 weeks gestation. His birth weight was only 960 grams, which is small for gestation age. He cried at birth and had an NICU stay for 1.5 months in view of low birth weight and sepsis. So we have a 10-year-old boy who was first born to non-consanguineous parents. There was antenatal oligohydramnios and intrauterine growth restriction. He was born late preterm and as small for gestational age. There was poor growth noted since birth. He had normal development and there was no history suggestive of any chronic systemic illness, and there was no significant family history. So on examination, at chronological age of 10 years, his weight was only 10.1 kg, that is minus 6.7 Z-score with a weight age of 2.5 years. His height was 104.6 centimeter, which was minus 5 Z-score, and his height age was 4 years, 2 months. Upper segment, lower segment ratio was normal at 1.1:1. His head circumference was 47 centimeter. BMI was very low at 9.2 kg per meter square, that is minus 5.3 Z score. His mean mid-parental height was 163 centimeter, which was at minus 1.4 Z score. His sexual maturity rating according to Tanner's stage was stage 1 with bilateral testicular volume of 2 cc and stretched penile length was normal at 5 centimeter. This is the growth chart at 10 years of age showing his mid-parental height, and his height was very less compared to the mid-parental height. Weight was also very less. Further, on examination, his vital parameters were normal. There was no pallor, icterus, cyanosis, clubbing, lymphadenopathy or edema, and there were no neurocutaneous markers. So he was small built with low muscle mass. He had a relatively large head, a triangular face, prominent forehead, low set ears, crowded teeth, bilateral shoulder dimples, bilateral fifth finger clinodactyly. There was no body asymmetry and his system examination was normal. He had come to us at previously at 6 years of age. Further, he was lost to follow up and came back to us only at 10 years of age. At 6 years of age, his weight was 7.5 kg, which is minus 9 Z score, the weight age of 5 months. Height is 89 centimeter, minus 5.5 Z score, and height age was 2 years. The BMI of 10 kg per meter square. And his height velocity over last 4 years was 4.4 centimeter per year, which is less than 10 centile. So this is the growth chart from 6 years to 10 years, which shows that his height and weight are both below 3rd centile. So bone age at the chronological age of 10 years was only 5.5 years according to Tanner-Whitehouse method. So patient summary, we had a 10-year-old boy who was born small for gestation age. He had syndromic features. There was no catch-up growth. He had proportionate short stature with height age less than bone age, less than chronological age. He had severe thinness and weight was affected greater than height. So our differential diagnosis was first small for gestation age without catch-up growth, because as he was born small for gestational age and he had not yet attained catch-up growth. And being a SGA baby, not failing to catch up growth and with syndromic features, our first differential diagnosis would be Silver-Russell syndrome. Because his weight was more affected than height, undernutrition could also be a possibility. But however, only undernutrition is less likely as he did not have any other features of micronutrient deficiency. Undernutrition could also be a part of Silver-Russell syndrome. SHORT syndrome, that is short stature hyperextensibility, ocular depression, Rieger's anomaly, and teething delay. The features that were present in our index patient was that he was born late preterm, he was small for gestation age, he had short stature, low BMI, relative macrocephaly, triangular face, broad forehead, low set ears, small chin, clinodactyly, and normal intelligence. Features that were absent were deep set eyes, Rieger anomaly, that is anterior segment of the eye hypoplasia, hypoplastic nasal alley, hearing loss, hyperextensibility, hernia, and lipodystrophy. Next we considered was floating harbor syndrome. Features that were present were small for gestation age, short stature, relative macrocephaly, triangular face, bulbous nose, fifth finger clinodactyly, and delayed bone age. However, features that were absent were deep set eyes, short philtrum, thin lips, short neck, and intellectual disability. Further, we considered Bloom syndrome. However, features that were present are SGA, short stature, narrow face, prominent nose, small chin, and normal intelligence. Features that were absent were microcephaly, skin rash, and skin pigmentation. Fanconi anemia, the features that were present were that he was born SGA, had short stature, a triangular face, and small chin. But features that were absent were radial ray defects, cafe au lait spots, perioral hyperpigmentation, microcephaly, microophthalmia, hearing loss, and development delay. We also considered celiac disease as his weight was much more affected than height. On investigations, his basic investigations including thyroid profile, 8 AM cortisol, and anti-TTGA were normal. So our most probable diagnosis in view of being born SGA, failing to catch up growth with the characteristic syndromic features was Silver-Russell syndrome. Our further management plan in this boy is molecular genetic testing has been sent and the report is awaited. We have provided him with nutritional support. The plan is to initiate on growth hormone therapy. We would be monitoring his growth and pubertal status and further monitor him for any metabolic complications. So, a brief discussion on small for gestation age and Silver-Russell syndrome. So, how very often SGA and IUGR, these terms are used interchangeably, but however, they are different and should not be used together. It should not be used as the same terminology. So, small for gestation age is weight and or length less than -2 standard deviation for gestational age at birth. And IUGR, that is intrauterine growth restriction, is fetal weight less than 10th percentile for gestation age on at least 2 ultrasonography measurements at least 2 weeks apart. And IUGR may or may not result in a baby born SGA. So Silver-Russell syndrome, the incidence ranges from 1:30,000 to 1:1 lakh. It is associated with prenatal and postnatal growth retardation. Underlying molecular cause can be identified in up to 60% of patients clinically diagnosed with SRS. The most common underlying mechanisms are loss of methylation on chromosome 11p15, that is seen in 30 to 60% of the patients, and maternal uniparental disomy for chromosome 7 is seen in 5 to 10% of the patients. So there is a scoring system that is popularly used for diagnosing Silver-Russell syndrome. So it has 6 criteria, and if the patient scores at least 4 of the 6 criteria, including both prominent forehead and relative macrocephaly, he can be labeled as clinical Silver-Russell syndrome. So this scoring system, the clinical criteria included are SGA, postnatal growth failure, relative macrocephaly at birth, protruding forehead, body asymmetry, and feeding difficulties and or low BMI. The points marked in red were present in our patient. Additional clinical features are triangular face, fifth finger clinodactyly, shoulder dimples, micrognathia, low muscle mass, excessive sweating, low set and or posteriorly rotated ears, downturned mouth, high-pitched or squeaky voice, prominent heels, delayed closure of fontanelle, male genital abnormalities, speech delay, irregular or crowded teeth, motor delay, syndactyly of toes, hypoglycemia, scoliosis and or kyphosis. Again, the points marked in red were present in our patient. So a positive molecular test result helps us to confirm the clinical diagnosis and enable stratification into a specific molecular subgroup, which will guide us with the appropriate management. However, lack of a positive molecular result does not exclude the diagnosis of Silver-Russell syndrome. So growth hormone treatment in SRS. SRS is an indication for growth hormone treatment under the SGA guidelines. It is FDA approved. So growth hormone treatment should be started as soon as possible. Starting at age 2 to 4 years is adequate for majority of the patients. Growth hormone stimulation testing prior to growth hormone treatment is not necessary. The dosage is as used in SGA failure to catch up growth, that is 0.035 to 0.070 mg per kg per day or 0.1 to 0.2 international units per kg per day. So this brings us to the end of my presentation. Thank you.